Okay, this is a quick recording of something I've been working on for a little while. I've been implementing Matter into Node-RED as a Matter bridge. So for those that don't know Node-RED, it's an open source visual programming environment. You have this web-based editor here. This is a copy of Node-RED that's running on my laptop. And you can build workflows by just dragging and dropping blocks together, connecting them, deploying, and then when you fire a flow, something happens. In this case, we're just sending a timestamp and locking it out. So kind of the simplest. So you have a whole bunch of built-in nodes along here, but the cool thing is you can add lots of other third-party nodes. So this is the new package I've been creating. It's a Matter bridge. Today we have just the one device in here, so the on-off light, fairly simple. But we can drag one of those in and go in and start configuring it. So we'll just call it, give it a name, light one, type, and the main thing we now need to do is we need to create the bridge. So the bridge is a linked config node. So we'll call this MacBook bridge. It's a MacBook. By default, it'll just select the test vendor ID, test product ID, and give it some generic names. And we also just need to tell it what interface it's listening on. EN0. Okay, so the Wi-Fi is EN0 on MacBook. And we'll add that. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to hit deploy, which actually starts up the node, and you can see it's ready. And if we go back into our node and into our bridge, we have a pairing code. So now I should be able to commission this this bridge with this light node into one of my fabrics. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Apple Home, and I'll add an accessory. It's going to ask me to scan the QR code. Scan that code and add to Apple Home. It's uncertified, so we'll go and do that. Okay, and then I'll tell it where it is. I'll just say it's in the office. I don't know what the bridge is called. So now we have the same, because it's found the bridge and it's found the individual light. Light 1, it's picked up the name. We don't want any automations, and we're done. So we should find now, somewhere in my office, I have a new device here, light 1. Currently says no response. That usually takes a few seconds just to catch up. What we'll do is we'll also wrap some other nodes around this. So in this case, we're going to set an inject that sends in a string of toggle, and we'll log the output to a debug there. Deploy, we just want to deploy modified node so it doesn't kick the bridge. Hopefully. Okay, so there we go. Light 1 is now there. It's lit up yellow, so it's finally synced itself up. If I open up the thing, you can see there it says it's powered off. And if I power it on, what we'll see from here is this node will output the state of the light. In this case, it'll go to true. So on, and we get a true, and off, we get a false. Similarly, if I send the toggle command into the node, oops, on the wrong window, true, and in HomeKit it updates and turns off. So we can send a single command of toggle in, which just sends it on or off, or we can send in a boolean of the state we want it to be. So in this case, true. It's currently off, and if we send in true, screen recording went to sleep there. It's on. Toggle it back to off. So again, send in a true, on it comes. So we can now basically expose just about anything we like as a light in Node-RED. We can expose a light in Node-RED to just about anything we like to connect other things. So that's kind of interesting. You know, we can get some events, and then you can drop in nodes to bridge to other things, be those smart home devices or whatever you might want to control. I've got another little demo, so you can see down the bottom here we've got a Raspberry Pi, and this is again running Node-RED directly on the Raspberry Pi, and we've got a slightly more complicated flow. So we've created 4 lights, and that hat on the top of the Pi there is an LED hat, so we can control the different areas of the light panel. So there's I think there's 64 LEDs in there. What I've done is I've grouped them up into four little groups: top, bottom, left, right, and that's already been paired into the Google Home fabric. So now I can turn on one of those, and we'll see bottom left comes on, bottom right. Bottom right turn on. Oops, bottom right. Let's try again. Bottom right turns on. Top left, top right, top left. So we can turn all of those off that way. The other thing is this has got a little switch joystick, so that is wired through using the Node-RED flow. So we get the inputs over here from the joystick. We figure out which way, up, down, left, right. We map that to one of the lights. So we use that to toggle the lights. So we'll see the lights will come on, and then it'll also update in Google Home app. So if I do that one, we get one turned on here. Google does seem quite slow to update sometimes. Open that one up, see if it maybe. Yeah, Google isn't playing with updates today. There we go. So it just needs to be manually refreshed. So I'll refresh that, and it's off. Now we'll turn it on. Manually refresh. Top right comes on. Turn on bottom left, I think that is. Refresh. Bottom left is on. Yeah. So there we are. We're controlling the lights on a Raspberry Pi. From Matter.